Hi guys. This week was hard, but I learned a lot of great lessons about worthiness. So here are 5 things I learned. Okay guys, this week sucked for me, as far as stuff that happened, But before we start, please like, subscribe, and comment, of course. First of all, I ended up breaking up with a guy who I really liked. Long story, nobody's fault, just different places in our lives, that kind of thing. But it was so destabilizing. So since I like to walk my walk, not just talk my talk, I decided that every time I missed him, I would look into what I felt I was missing that he was giving me emotionally and try to give that to myself. I asked what it is that I felt I could not get without him, right? And I realized, number 1, I really liked him as a person. I mean, he's really cute and funny and charming, and I just miss being around him. He kind of like schleps around in his old t-shirts, and I think it's very cute. But I also realized that there was a part of me that was looking to him to affirm my worthiness. Because as I explored, I discovered that I missed the feeling of someone finding me worth hanging around with. I missed the feeling of someone finding me sexy, or that special feeling of being amusing, and I missed his appreciation. I thought, his thoughtfulness toward me meant that I was worth caring about. So when I learned that, I was like, wow, I gotta look into my own self-worth. So here are the 5 things I learned about self-worth this week out of this situation. Number 5, leaning on other people for your self-worth can be kind of dangerous. I realized that if I use someone else to bolster my self-worth, then I'm relying on something that's kind of unstable, and it puts me in a dangerous situation, kind of. Yes, I have my moments, but for the most part, I'm actually pretty confident. But if I were to not have been confident and I did not have any love for myself, I could get addicted to what I perceive as the only way that I could find my self-worth, which would be through my partner, right? And that is not a relationship that is good for you. If you get dependent on feeding your self-worth from being with your partner, then you could stay in an unhealthier environment, be manipulated into doing things you might not want to do, and so you could feed your self-worth. And there can be an air of desperation in the relationship, which can be negative. So then I decided, number 4, I want to recommit to reestablishing my self-worth without my partner. I want to feel loved and worthy for myself, not from anyone else. But what does that mean? So I asked myself, what would make me feel worth loving? What would make me feel worthy? Number 3, the concept of conditional love. When I asked myself what would make me feel worth loving, the answer was, well, if you could keep your agreements, then you're worth loving. If you have a lot of money, that would mean that you are worth loving. If you lost your weight, then that would mean that you are worth loving. But actually, like I said, one of the reasons that made our relationship, my relationship with my ex, so good was that he loved me just as I was now. I felt love now, not later. Not later if I do something right. Not later that somebody determined was good. I mean, right now. He made me feel love right now. If I'm going to find myself worthy, then it needs to happen right now, just as I am. I must be worthy now. Number 2, feeling future emotions now. I asked myself what it would be like if I were to feel like I was worthy. And one of the main things that came up for me was I would feel proud of myself. Then I asked, can I feel proud of myself right now? So I used my mental tools to try to elicit a feeling of being proud of myself. What reasons did I have to feel proud of myself now? And when I asked that question, I found so many reasons to feel proud of myself now. It's all about the questions you want to ask. When you ask a question, there's always an answer. What reasons did I have to feel proud of myself now? Well, I launched my book this past year that became a bestseller. I work with some of the top people who are willing to work with me for many projects. And all of those difficult situations I overcame, I mean, damn, I have every reason to feel proud of myself. But also, I found there was a problem with the way that I was feeling proud of myself, because all of those things that I had mentioned were based on actions I had already taken, right? It's conditional, it's based on actions. I asked myself then, what makes me feel worthy beyond the things I did and did not do? Because it's the same thing, right? I'll be worth loving if I do this. I'm worth loving because I wrote the book. I mean, isn't that the same thing? So what makes me worth loving beyond doing something to earn it? Well, when I asked that question, I realized, well, for sure, I know that I love people. And that is something that I was born with, not something that I had to earn. I love laughing. That is something that I was born with. I love connecting with people. That is something that I was born with. And the fact that I love people, and that I love laughing, and that I love connecting with other people is valuable and worthy of loving and honoring in and of itself. And so I really am worthy of love, even if I do or don't do anything. That is not changeable. Who Aidan is at birth, who Aidan was at birth, who Aidan is now is not changeable. And number one, it's okay to make mistakes. As we go through life, we all make mistakes. Not one kid in the world learns to walk without falling a few times. And just because I fell a few times, it does not mean that I am unworthy. It just means I can get up and try something else. And there's some kind of deep calm that comes with the idea that even if I never learn to walk, I'm still worthy of love because of who I am on the inside. That's pretty cool. I'm worthy of loving no matter what the outcome. If I stay or go off that diet, if I stay or leave the relationship, then that, I feel, is where true freedom can kind of come in. Because I wouldn't be taking action on needing to prove anything, needing to earn that love that we're all starved for, because I already have a feeling of worthiness. Now I get to make decisions based on what I want, not based on guilt or blame or pressure. I can feel free to take some risks because no matter what happens, I will be loved and I will feel worthy. I think that's really, really important. It seems so simple, but from this breakup, I really gave this some thought, and so I guess my intention moving forward is to love myself and find myself worthy in the way that he loved me and found me worthy. I want to feel that way about me every day, unconditionally. I know I won't be perfect all the time and I will stumble, but you know what? That's okay because the intention's there. I'm going to do my best to find myself lovable anyway and find myself worthy. And that is my big intention. So thank you so much for reading. I hope you have a wonderful week. I will see you next week.